Well, hello, and welcome to the Notorious Jawcast, the official podcast and videocast of the city of Moose Jaw, Canada's most notorious city. I'm Craig Hemingway, Communications Manager, and coming up on this episode, Boulevards. Now that we're in green space season, what do you need to know about the boulevard in front of your house? What is and isn't your responsibility? Our city horticulturist, Sarah Regent, will visit us shortly. But before we get there, a couple items of note. Public Works Week has been proclaimed by Mayor Tolley. That's going to happen May 15th to 21st. The theme this year is Ready and Resilient, which is what our public works crews need to be when dealing with urgent issues. And in case you didn't know, there are numerous city services and infrastructure that fall under the umbrella of public works, including streets and roads and bridges, water and wastewater, public transportation, parks and green space maintenance, and facility maintenance. And in case you haven't noticed, since the weather's been nice, many of these crews have been out and about. The hot mix is out to fill potholes. The street cleaning has begun. We're looking after our parks and not only picking up garbage, but starting to maintain and get those areas ready to be beautiful later on as the weather heats up through the summer. So here's to all of our public works crews, and you can join us for the return of the Public Works Week open house. That's right. The Public Works Week open house comes back this year after being canceled the last couple of years. Wednesday, May 18th, you can come to the City Complex at 1010 High Street West between 11 and 2. We're going to have all of our heavy equipment on display. Many of our Public Works employees will be there to give some demonstrations and provide some education on just what it is that those folks do. So we look forward to seeing you there. Also coming up, May 21st through 23rd, that is Free Yard Waste Weekend, which gives you the chance to have free disposal of all organic yard waste, which is grass, leaves, and small branches, at the city landfill. So the May-long weekend, you can take those bags of leaves and grass or branches to our landfill absolutely free. We'll waive the $10 fee for you, May 21st through 23rd. And in case you missed it, coming up real soon is Community Cleanup Week, May 9th through 15th here in Moose Jaw, and it will culminate in Community Cleanup Day on Sunday, May 15th. We're going to meet at the Moose Jaw Co-op Marketplace parking lot downtown. Come down and meet us there. We'll give you some garbage bags and some instruction on where we need you the most. And then you can go help pick some garbage and then come back for a free barbecue, courtesy of the Moose Jaw Co-op. Real simple. We only ask a couple of things. If you are planning on coming, let us know. You can send us an email to cleanup@moosejaw.ca. And if you are out and about, whether it's on the 15th or even before then, maybe you're with a school doing it during the week, take a photo and show us how you're cleaning up the city of Moose Jaw. Post your photo on social media with the hashtag CleanUpMJ, and we will find it and share your hard work to show off for you to the rest of the community what you're doing. Now, on to boulevards. And we know there can sometimes be confusion about care and maintenance of boulevards and boulevard trees. So to tell us all about it, live from one of Moose Jaw's many beautiful boulevards, is our city horticulturist, Sarah Regent. On location on Alder Avenue, I think, aren't you, Sarah?
Yep, that's right.
And we chose Alder just because that particular block, there were no vehicles, and it was a good spot for you to set up. Of course, it's one of many similar boulevards across the city, right?
Right. We have boulevards actually on every street in Moose Jaw. And so a lot of them are like the boulevard behind me, where we have the curb, the sidewalk, and then the boulevard. But of course, we also do have the ones that are just back of the curb, or the ones between the curb and the sidewalk, where we have actually green space there as well. So we actually have 3 different types of boulevards, depending on what street you are.
But generally speaking, whichever boulevard you've got, the same rules would apply, correct?
Correct. Yep, the same rules apply to all the different types of boulevards.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those things right now. Again, as people start to look after their lawns and their yards, when it comes to things like maintenance, like just mowing the lawn, that sort of thing, boulevards are the responsibility of the homeowner, correct?
That's right. So homeowners are responsible for the general maintenance of boulevards. So like you mentioned, things like mowing the grass. You can also water, fertilize. You can put more grass seed if maybe some of it died over the winter. That stuff all falls to the homeowner. If you do have a big patch of grass that's died out on the boulevard, you can come into City Hall, Parks and Rec, and request some grass seed. We do provide it for boulevards if you need to reseed. But any landscaping past that, so if you wanted to plant some shrubs or maybe add a bit of rocks or a pathway or some perennials, that can be allowed, but you need a boulevard treatment permit through Parks and Rec first.
Sure. Well, it's very important to know because, yeah, there might be some who want to keep a consistent look from the boulevard to whatever they have going on in the yards, right? But just ask, please, first, right?
Exactly. And boulevards vary in width throughout the city. So some boulevards are only maybe a foot or two back of the sidewalk. And some, especially if there's no sidewalk, can be up to 28 feet. So you just never know. Most of them are somewhere kind of in the middle, but always best to check. You can always do a request through Parks and Rec to find out what your boulevard measurement is before you get started. And that way you know if you need to apply for the permit. And the permit is free to apply for, and it's downloadable off of moosejaw.ca. So it's really quite easy to do, and that makes sure that everything complies with the bylaws, because we really do hate to make people take stuff down if it is going to cause a problem.
And what are the rules around trees on the boulevards?
Trees on the boulevard actually fall to the city, so that's the one thing that you don't maintain on the boulevard. So any tree on the boulevard is only to be pruned by the city. So if you do have a tree that you're not sure if it's a boulevard tree or not, you can use the report and issue feature, and we actually have a tree inspection category, and you can use that to ask if the tree is a boulevard tree or not, and also to request it be looked at if it looks sick. And there's also a tree pruning category in report and issue. So if that tree needs some attention, maybe it's getting a little bit low, or if you notice a branch that seems like maybe it's splitting a little bit or something, you can send it in there, and you can even send us pictures of exactly what you're seeing as an issue on that tree.
Yeah, the report and issue feature, you can find it either on the city website on moosejaw.ca or with the City of Moose Jaw app, which is free to download, whether it's in your Apple or Google Play Store. And as Sarah mentioned, it's so easy to use. And yeah, you can click a picture of what your concern is and include that. And that also helps, Sarah, on our end, when we can see those pictures, it really helps get a quicker solution, doesn't it?
It does, yes. And especially on properties, maybe you're a corner lot, maybe you're in the avenues where you might have more than one tree in front of your property, helps us narrow down exactly what you're talking about and get us a little bit faster in getting that tree addressed, because we'll know exactly what we're looking for when we go out to address the concern.
And not only do we have the report and issue feature on the website, but a whole section on boulevards. All the information Sarah just mentioned and everything else you need to know is right there on moosejaw.ca under the Parks and Recreation tab. You can find out what you need to know there. So, Sarah, anything else we need to know about boulevards today?
I think that pretty well covers boulevards. The big thing is, if you're unsure, always ask. We're always happy to look things up for you, help you out, answer any questions. It's always easier to ask beforehand than after. And the only other thing is just a reminder, it is spring now, so we can't be pruning the elm trees, and that's because our risk of Dutch elm disease is now here. So the beetles are going to start flying, and as soon as those trees leaf out, we like to remind residents that they should be watching for signs of Dutch elm disease. So usually the tree will start wilting, or some leaves will turn yellow, usually on only certain branches. And we want to make sure that you are reporting those, even if they're on private property. Any sick elms really need to be reported to Parks and Rec, so we can make sure they don't infect any other elms.
All right, Sarah Regent, City Horticulturist, thanks so much for your time here today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Always good to chat.
Thanks again to Sarah Regent for telling us all about boulevards. And a reminder, you can check out that information on the city's website, as well as everything else you need to know about the city of Moose Jaw, and certainly the things we already discussed on the Jawcast, like Public Works Week, Community Cleanup Week, and Community Cleanup Day, and also Free Yard Waste Weekend, and everything else. Check out the news section at moosejaw.ca. And thank you for checking out the Notorious Jawcast.